Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to do a comparison of the Power Rangers figures from the Legacy series by Bandai and from the Lightning collection by Hasbro. So I've lined up the blue, black and red Ranger from both series because they are the same figure. So let's check out the articulation. First off is the head. Both heads is not able to look up so high, but they are able to look down. Just like most figures, their head is able to move left and right. Arm swivel, the arms are able to rotate around. Moving sideways, both of them are able to raise up to about the same height. Both of them has the bicep swivel. And double hinge elbow joints. The elbow joints of the Legacy Rangers is quite loose. Hasbro's one is quite tight. Both of them have the same range of movement for the elbow joint. The Legacy figure has a forearm swivel. The Hasbro Ranger does not. And the Legacy Ranger has a different sort of wrist which is kind of like Revoltech. You can make the hands go up and down. And if you turn it correctly, you can also make it go left and right. So this joint is actually quite useful, but the downside of this joint is that you can see that the wrist looks a bit funny. It looks a bit awkward that there's suddenly a ball joint over here at the wrist. The Hasbro Power Rangers has a wrist joint like the Marvel Legends. It can swivel around, and it also has the hinge to move left and right. So it does not have the option to go up and down. Next, the torso. The Legacy Ranger has an ab crunch. So he's able to go down this much. The Hasbro Power Rangers has an ab crunch and also a diaphragm joint or the mid-torso joint. So he's able to go down even further. The Legacy Rangers also has a waist swivel. And the Hasbro Rangers does not have a waist swivel, but the diaphragm joint does allow the figure to rotate left and right. And also the Hasbro Rangers has butterfly shoulder joints, which allows the hand to move further back. But if you were to push it back too much, you can actually see this white part jutting out over here, so it doesn't look that great, but it does allow for some movements to the back and also forward. So this joint is actually quite useful. The Legacy Ranger is able to do quite a big split, but the Hasbro Power Rangers is not able to do a split that wide. This is the most that he can do. The leg of this figure can go up this high. Not that much actually, but same goes for the Hasbro. The Hasbro one is able to raise up just a bit higher. Calf swivel on this, but because of the way that this part is slanted, it restricts the movement inwards. There's thigh swivel as well for the Hasbro Ranger. Double hinge knee joint. This is the amount of range of movement that is able to do. And here is the Legacy. He's also able to bend his knees quite well. Calf swivel for the Legacy Ranger. And also the ankles, the feet swivel up and down with ankle rocker joint. Same goes for the Hasbro Ranger. Calf swivel, hinge up and down, and also ankle pivot joint. The bottom of the Legacy Ranger does not have a hole for a peg, but the Hasbro one does. This hinge joint over here is kind of unsightly on this part of the hands of the Legacy Rangers, and you can also see the hinge peg on the neck as well. And also, having this diamond part over here that goes over the top of the torso and the bottom of the torso causes it to be kind of disrupted when the ab crunch is used. Whereas for the Hasbro Ranger, because this diamond part over here is at the top part of the torso, any movement does not make it look awkward or doesn't make it look funny, because the shape is not broken into two parts like this. So yeah, the articulation of the Legacy Power Rangers is not bad, it's actually quite decent, but I definitely prefer the Hasbro Lightning Collection version because the articulation does not make the figure look awkward, and the joints of this figure is also tighter, so it makes posing the figure easier. Do check out my comparison of the female Power Rangers, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.